Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 3rd of January, 2005. Yabba's back in the
25.
house. 20. What did I say?
2005.
Oh shit, 2025. Look, nobody would have realized if you never said nothing, Yabba. But
we were top of the league in 2005. We were actually challenging for stuff in 2005.
Really?
And in a way, I do wish we were back in that wonderful year.
God, 2 decades. A lot has changed, boy. How the mighty have fallen, eh?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Bath time.
Hello.
Friday. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I tell you what, it is seriously cold where I am, like snowed in and all that. So I'm having a drinky winky and a half this weekend. Like I'm up for a show tomorrow night. Like,
no football.
No football. Like unless some polar bears are going to be like in goal, not a chance.
Oh wow, I'm down to we've got our games due to be played tomorrow, so look, God knows. Anyway, Yabba, it's been a while. I know it's been eventful last couple of days. How you been, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, thanks. Very busy, working,
Swimming.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Really bad. It's funny, isn't it? Because like sometimes I'm like a hero. There's a big flood the other day. And people, it's like crazy. Everyone's panicking because there was actually like water, like a waterfall rushing out of the sink, rushing out from the pipes below, splashing out. It was that deep. Big bucket of water they accumulated, wet carpets, everything, and people fluffing around. And I just turned up, went to the boiler, and just turned off the mains.
Superman.
Yeah. I looked like you just walked out, like
You've invented a whole new type of superhero, Boiler Man. He doesn't turn up in the nick of time. He turns up halfway through.
Yeah,
oh God!
All resolved, but that made me late yesterday, and yeah, it's good to see you guys again. Haven't seen you for a while. It seems like a while, but we're here for the V preview. I love the big V emphasized there, as in peace and love. Hopefully, not that one.
Yeah,
because we're getting pelters right now, aren't we? From
DORA. Right, look, we've got a few things to talk about, but before we go any further, bath time, could you just say a couple of howdies for me, please? So,
do you want me to do?
Yeah. No, just until I get this thing that I need to get done.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Steph who came in really early complaining about our thumbnail. We got Bart with some bollocks about the Michael Owen derby. We got Bilal. We got Steph. We've got Matty Bassett. We've got Subvids. We've got Andrew. We've got Darkrow. Who else have we got here? We've got Drayton Manor's finest. It's Damien Walsh. Happy New Year to you, sir. They're talking trying to talk to these people is like trying to play like Beethoven to a dog or something. It's completely pointless. They're just chatting about American football at the moment.
It's Friday.
Yeah. All right, what's our first story, boys?
Right, do you know what? We've got a couple before we actually start our preview. The first one, I think we'll talk about Maguire and whether it's not its redemption, a money-saving scheme, or if he's going to play himself into a new contract. Obviously, in the press conference, which I do, when they ask him questions, I do like the fact that he does answer them. I still think it's going to get him in a little bit of shit down the line with his honesty. But he notified us that Maguire was extension his contract
triggered the extension.
Right, thank you. They've triggered the extension for Maguire's contract. I'm not overly happy about it, but I kind of understand. I understand where and why it's been done. I think it's strictly financial. With us losing Evans and Lindelof guaranteed. that leaves us with 4 centre backs, well, 3.5 centre backs if we include. So we got 4 centre backs. I think it was just a money saving thing. We can't afford to buy another centre back next season, so I think they've got him in there to keep him in there to and obviously with the British English player quota, I think that's why they've kept him. Yeah, but I see you raising your eyebrows. Talk to me, man. Obviously, I think your opinion might differ slightly from mine, but let me know what you think, man.
Just, it's one of the best comebacks in sporting history, in my opinion. It has to be up there because he was written off. He was on his face. Everyone, all the fan base, I mean, even on his channel, everyone disgusted with him. All to this day, anything goes wrong, they're looking for Maguire. Was Maguire playing? Let's blame him. He could be sitting on the bench and they'll be pointing fingers his way for some reason. There's an agenda against Maguire. And what you have to do sometimes is put the blinkers on and just watch the game and watch how someone performs. And considering where we are in the league and how pathetic we've been as a football team for the last few years, this is one player you can say who stands up through thick and thin. He's made mistakes, yeah, but he comes back week in, week out and does his job. Okay? The manager said the other day, we don't have a base to build from. Well, you usually have that. What that usually means is you don't have you can't compete. You can't compete physically. You can't win your duels. And if you're not doing that, then you ain't got a base to build on. Harry Maguire gives you that base because that's something he does. He's Premiership proven. He's a good defender. He's got international caps, played at the highest level internationally. He's been at the club for $80 million, whatever it was they paid for him. Good value for money, in my opinion. He's going to go down in one of the better signings that we've had in the last few years. In my opinion, as you can see under my name, Harry Maguire fan. I'm a fan of good defending. I'm a fan of good players. I'm a fan of people who've got character, who can stick through thick and thin and don't hide and run away when the going gets tough. He
doesn't run away very fast, though. That's the problem, isn't it?
Very funny, Mr. B. I set you up for that. I set you up for that. That's very good, actually. But yeah, I mean, the jokes will come, but the joke is on it. All the fans that disrespected him and don't understand football that well to understand that you need players with that kind of fortitude, mental fortitude, physical fortitude to get you through. And this is why Amaran's come along and signed him up for another contract, said, we've got to have this guy, keep this guy. That's why he's come back into the back three as the main guy, tried and tested. That's why he was dropped by Ten Hag, because the fans, oh no, he's no good. And suddenly, when who do you call on? Who you gonna call? When there's something strange in your neighborhood, you got bad form. Who you gonna call? Harry Maguire. He's the one who comes in every single time to save the day. So
goal buster, yeah.
Is it like retribution? Yeah, exactly. It's like retribution for me because I obviously I've got some opinions that are really poor. That have turned out to be really rubbish. Like Xerxes one's looking poor when I quote what Thiago Motta said about him, and I thought he'd do well. But at the moment, he's not doing too well, and I don't think he's got the mental fortitude of some players. So that's something in time you get to check with players, and I think he ticks all the boxes for me, Harry Maguire, for going through tough times. If you're going through troubles, and you like the A-team theme, innit? If you've got no one else to call and you're going through some situation, you've got no one else to call, who are you going to call on? You call on the A-team. And who are you going to sign a contract for? It's the A-team. People who are going to be there, are reliable, consistent.
Weren't they criminals?
They were fugitives because they...
That means so criminal.
They were criminals.
And yeah, something like that. But they've done something for the good. They've done something good. They help people in need. And when chips were down with people, you'd call up one, the A-team for whatever reason, and they will come and help you out. That's what Harry Maguire is. He's part of the A-team because he's a starter in the team. He's been through troubles and been on his face. He's hated. He's mocked. He's been booed. He's tried to get hooked by the fans, everything. And he remains to this day signing a new contract. So I'm delighted for the man. It shows a lot about his character. It shows a lot about the man. And I think a lot of you guys in the comments should turn around now and say, yeah, actually, he deserves this. Start with Mr. B.
If that won't happen. Bath time.
Yeah, first of all, we have to make it very clear to Yabba that Maguire has not signed a new contract. He's had the extension triggered in his contract. They're different things.
Same thing.
No, they're different things.
Same thing.
They're not the same thing.
It's the same. Well, let's hear about. All right, enough about that. We'll argue about that later. But we want to hear.
It's not an
about
argument. It's factual. It's like
We
arguing.
want to hear
1
your
plus 1.
views on the decision to extend the contract.
I'm delighted. Like me personally, I think I know that this will sound like a bit attention seeking or something, and I'm glad that you said it. But I genuinely think when you look at the last 12 years or whatever since Fergie left, Bruno and Maguire, the two signings that I think are the best signings that we have made. I'm a big fan of Harry Maguire. I think I echo a lot of what you've said, and the fact that I'm very impressed how he's turned things around. I can remember Scotland playing England and fans jeering him in a way that I haven't seen to a professional footballer before. I think that people laughed at him when he came on against Arsenal. Him and Evans might have come on a couple of weeks later. He's turned it around, and whilst it's a different kind of abuse what Beckham got, it was at that kind of level where it was like nationwide, like almost international. The man's he's had the piss ripped out of him in like the Ugandan parliament and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and personally, I think Maguire is a very, very good centre back. And when like I look around the league and things, I think he's still one of the best centre backs in the league in the fundamentals and things. He's an ugly player. Like, he doesn't run properly, he waves his arms around like a windmill. But I think that if you put him in a better team, you would see really top performances from him. And I'm pleased that he's worked his way back in, because I think of the players that we like rip into all the time, I think Maguire is one of the better players that we've had. And I'm pleased that he's staying. I understand people won't be very pleased, but just watch on the football pitch how much better he is at heading a ball than De Ligt. Like, De Ligt will win a header, but it won't go very far and will lose the second ball. Maguire's a very, very good centre-back, and I'm pleased he's there.
Could you see if there's anybody in the chat who agrees with you or more agrees with me and Yaba?
All right, first of all, Matty Bassett is pressing you about what your plans are this Sunday.
I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to watch the game, but I'll tell you lot afterwards. I doubt it, Matty.
Okay. Damien's saying that he thinks that some United players are harsh on Garnacho. Tell the other ones. Now, Andrew obviously thinks it's absolutely ridiculous that as a Manchester United fan channel that we like some of the players. I know, it's beyond parody, some of the comments that we get. Bart's brought up something that is actually, it's got nothing to do with anything, but it is really interesting. Like, Dani Olmo can leave on a free legally, and Barca can't play him unless the player gets injured. Like, it's a crazy situation. Right, Matty Bassett watches Maguire with his eyes. He can see his shit. Harry Maguire's attitude is impressive. Rashford could learn from him. Maguire was signed for more than Van Dijk. Surely OMONDI was being tongue-in-cheek?
No.
Well, it's up for OMONDI to answer that, not you.
No, I'm serious. No joking around here.
I'm serious as well. Andrew is saying he's the worst captain in the history of our football club. Did not have the mental acuity to realise this and jack it in. Look at this. Shows that he's a parasite. He keeps draining from our club. They trigger the extension voluntarily.
Whoa. Wow.
I don't know. Are you sure this is the channel for you, Andrew?
It's a democracy, isn't it? Everyone's entitled to their view.
Not really, because we can just we can do what we want. It's not a democracy.
Andrew can just give us some balance about, saying here's what we think, what we think about the players, and here's what the fans think about the players as well. It shows, that we get
he's a Swansea fan. Enough of this.
Well, let's move
Bilal
on.
hated Maguire as captain. Happy New Year to you, Sue.
Big up, Sue.
Like, Steph's turned up. Hello, Steph. Do you think Wan-Bissaka was a good signing? Not really for me. 50 million, bit too much. We can forfeit the game on Sunday. Do you know what? I think if you forfeit a game, it's only a 3-0. So maybe that's a good idea. Now Andrew is begging you, Mr. B, to do something for him. Fair play to Maguire, says Seuss. It's been professional, good option to have. I've had my issue with him, but since he's not been captain, he's been better and more stable.
Fair.
Football clubs are putting out tweets saying they stand with Maguire. Don't give the bullshit that he's been abused unjustly. I mean, did he have bomb threats and things like that? Like, you know, most abuse is unjust. Sometimes it can border on funny, but Maguire's was ridiculous. You and Yabba just spewed out last 10 minutes is not beyond parody. No, you can parody that, but your comments we can't parody. 8 likes, 11 watching. Thank you very much. Andrew's just off on one. Who's got Harry Maguire in their fantasy football team? Do you know what? That's a really good comeback, isn't it? Would you stick Harry Maguire in your fantasy football team this weekend if you rate him so high?
I don't have a fantasy football team, but he hasn't scored many points, I'm sure. Who's going to pick any Man United players in their fantasy football team? That's a good shout.
And thank you, Bart. It was the Ghanaian parliament, not the Ugandan parliament. I suspect that Uganda don't have a parliament from what I know. That's Idi Amin, isn't it, Uganda?
Yeah, that's where he's from. Yeah, but that was in the 70s.
Black and white.
Well, that's your area of expertise.
Oh God! Look, there's another topic as well. Before we go,
Sorry. Before we go on,
yeah. Oh, sorry, and there is something else as well. Sorry.
I have my spill. You have my bath time as spill. What you didn't really touch it too much, Mr. B.
Well, look, I'm. Let's just say I'm surprised. I understand why. Mine was at the beginning.
Okay,
I think it's money. I think it's strictly money orientated why we're keeping hold of him. But he's there. You know, there's other issues in the club that need to be sorted out before Maguire leaving.
Can I ask you a question? Just quick. Sorry to stall you.
Yeah.
So forget any bias or anything like that. Just be fair. You're a football manager. Rank your 3 best centre backs at the club right now. In order.
Delete. Euro. Ahmad. Yeah, then Maguire.
All right. There you go.
No. To be fair,
even if he's birds,
he has to play. I think he has to play. In a back three, the defenders in the club. You know, I think more than likely he probably has to start. But
so you're what basically say you're referring to a starter in the team whose contract could be running out. We might as well just extend it. And I know you gave reasons that other players are leaving for that as well.
I mean, and he needs leadership. I mean, look, the press conference today.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All Amrin spoke about was having leaders. He seemed to understand. Obviously, bath time. You were filling me in. So you know what? I'll let you talk that bit because you were the one who was actually giving the information because I didn't hear the press conference. So.
I mean, Amin's direct quote is that we're starving for leaders, and he knows that Maguire. You know, he basically referenced that Maguire was captain. It was taken away from him, and he's done incredible since then. That it's very impressive how he's gone. He said that he's spoken to Harry, that he's pleased with him. He's happily going to trigger that 1-year extension, but he needs more leadership from him, and he needs performances on the pitch. And I quite like that because, you know, you extend his contract and also threaten him essentially, which is good. But I think it once again speaks to how there's not enough good senior pros at the football club. And I think, you know, like Martinez was captain last week and like we think he was hooked at like the 65th minute, if anyone can check that for us. But I think that Maguire might be in line for sort of being the vice captain again.
We deserve better. Yeah, so just going back to this leadership thing, I haven't seen the press conference, but you can tell if you listen to it after you obviously clearly know what he's implying there. Obviously, you're saying you wouldn't see more leadership from him. He was questioned in the previous game about captaincy for Maguire, and he sort of swerved the question, but said he performed well and he's doing all right. And then Martinez was picked as captain. Then like you said, then he was dragged from the game because of maybe poor performance. A bit like Xerxes. Xerxes was performing poorly. He got dragged. Same applies to Martinez. The two of the goals we conceded the other day, I felt Martinez was slapped with, and then he got dragged for it. So now it's like, who's left? Do we revert back to Maguire? Is that seen as a sign of weakness? But what's he mean by leadership? Because Harry Maguire, whether he's captain or not, he still has to lead the line, talk throughout the game as a defender. What more would he want from him? This is what I'm trying to think. This is a bit bemused by the comment. More
off
leadership.
The pitch.
Off the pitch, as
I
a
would
captain,
think so.
or just in general.
Look, we're in a bad place at the moment. Like, confidence is rock bottom. Like, two of our brightest stars traditionally in Rashford and Garnacho have been frozen out. We've got young players like Yoro and Kobe. We've got Xerxes. God knows what's going on with him. But morale is low, and not just in the first team squad, like across the club. Like, you know, people losing their jobs and all this kind of stuff. Morale is low. And you want someone there. You want people there that you can trust.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? It's like, if you, I don't know, like, you want that person who says they're going to do something and then they do it. And you want that to be a kind of beacon for everyone else to kind of go up to those standards. And I think that he's seen that, like, Maguire, like, is good at dealing with himself these days. Like, he conducts himself well, he does all these things, but now it's time to show that to the rest of the squad. And when, for example, let's just speculate that they're unhappy with Rashford's professionalism, maybe Amrin is saying, like, look, it doesn't matter if you're captain or not. You're a senior footballer who's been here for this amount of time. You go and you get him and you bog wash him.
Bog wash him. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Bog washing.
Yeah, well, maybe not the bog washing part, but the part about the older players and the players who have been there the longest, being the example, trying to set an example good for the club. And that's why Rashford is another reason why Rashford's gone. You know, because that brings us on to the next topic with him being linked with a move to maybe Napoli to join up with Max Zidane, as he's doing it over there. I mean, look, is that an option? Obviously, the main story was Osimhen in a swap for Rashford. I'm taking that all day. I've already said Osimhen would be my number one forward even before we had Højlund. I'm not going to say it's a no-brainer. If it's something that could be done, I think that would be a great move for us as a club. I think it would be a great move for him. Those Napoli fans really do show their appreciation if he wants to go out there and run, at least. Look, they love Lukaku and he don't run for shit. So maybe he will have, you know, a chance. I think that's a good deal. What you guys thinking about that? I know Rashford's been on all week, but this is more a positive one for the club, in my opinion.
Well, who's the manager of Napoli?
Conte.
Oh, so it is Conte. So what I've noticed with Conte, I was thinking that he's when he was at Inter Milan, he bring Ashley Young over. He likes the Premiership players.
Yeah, Damian.
He understands that they work hard and they can offer so much in the Italian league. Ashley Young came over and helped him win a title, playing as a wing back out there. And now he's manager of Napoli. He's brought McTominay in, and he was like, you know. McTominay's doing a good job out there. I know they're not top right now. They've had a few ups and downs, but he has been performing. He scored a few goals, and he's a threat. It must be difficult to deal with coming in late in the box and sort of playing as a second striker with Lukaku. Imagine having to deal with those two centre backs, you know. So I think Conte understands that Premiership players can give you something very physical. And so when it comes to Rashford, I was a bit surprised by this move. I didn't think they had money or anything to do this. We were considering about his wages and how much it would cost. But if he is interested, whether it's a loan or a deal, I think going to a manager like Conte would be good for him, because Conte knows the standards that are set in the Premier League, having won a title here. and really familiar with the Premier League, and he knows Premiership players, what they're all about. So Rashford is a Premiership player that during Conte's time has been, one of the top players in the league, according to Conte. That's why he's seen this as a snip. What, he's available, grab him. He would do wonders over here, just as Chris Smalling, Ashley Young, and all these other British players who have got over there have achieved something. And when I say British, I'm talking about Lukaku as well, because he's established as a Premiership player when he came to Chelsea and West Brom and Everton and Man United. He's a Premiership player, basically. That's where he's played the majority of his career. He's gone out to Italy and had impact. Same with the guy, the youngster from Chelsea when I played for Mourinho, Roma. He had a lot of impact, the striker. So I think it's a good
Tammy
move.
Abrahams.
Yeah, Tammy Abraham. He had impact when he went there. No doubt about it, because of they're like, blah, this guy is strong, he's tough, he can run, So I think it'd be a good move for Rashford. Although I hear whispers are Rashford apparently wants to go to Spain, which it's understandable. If you talk about Barcelona and Real Madrid, if they'd
yeah, but they're not. But come on, they're not interested in him, bro.
Who knows?
We've got more chance of signing Rashford than Barcelona do. They're like.
So, yeah, overall, I think Conte would have a big impact in that move because he understands Premiership players, and Rashford's definitely a proven Premiership player.
Well, for me, I think it's about... It's sort of seen as a swap for Osimhen, and it does make a bit of sense where both clubs have an asset that is valuable and doesn't want to be playing for them, or isn't interested, broken connection with the fans, and... That's so I think there's room there to do a deal. He's got McTominay over there. He's known him since he was 8 or something like that. And that they've got Billy Gilmore. Are you right in saying there's a lot of English or British players out in Serie A? I believe Shea Adams is at Torino or something. So it's something. I bet there's appetite on both ends to do that, because if at Napoli they swap Osimhen, who he should be seen as a legend of Napoli, to be perfectly honest. He's part of the team that won the first Scudetto since Maradona. You'd think that he should be revered and things, but obviously things went wrong there. But to replace him, Marcus Rashford, I can see Napoli fans being really excited about that. It's a hell of a city, Naples. I'm not sure how Rashford would deal with the intense scrutiny and invasiveness that comes from the most crazy football city in Italy. And I'm also not completely convinced Victor Osimhen is who we need. Not doubting his credentials as a footballer, but more sort of attitude and things strikes me as quite a bit of a mercenary. And I'm not sure he's someone I'd want with me in the trenches, to be honest, of a long, hard Premier League season. So I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice, but I think we really want cash rather than just swapping Rashford and his wages for another Don't
you think they would rather just get him out of the club? I think that might be more with the pushes, or actually just to get him out.
Well, look, something's obviously happened, Mr. B. I highlighted a comment earlier from Bilal saying Rashi ill, allegedly. Amrin knows what he's doing when he says that Rashford has been ill, because we've all seen pictures of Rashford in training.
It's lovely, isn't it? Rashford boys. Yeah, I mean, look, it's about control as well, isn't it? To be fair, they're all trying to protect themselves to a certain extent, but I'm glad that he said he's ill. I'm glad that Rashford thought, I'm not going to say he thought he was in the squad. He had pictures of him at training with Garnacho in the background, and one of the coaches I saw with a smile on his face. I'm glad this is how he's being treated. At the end of the day, I would never forgive him for that interview. I don't give a shit. I don't care how upset he was, how pissed off he was with the situation. The club are paying him 350 grand a week. Shut your fucking mouth. You know what I mean? And deal with the bullshit. So no, I'm glad. I want him gone. I like Rashford, or I liked Rashford. I still like Rashford. Wherever he goes, I don't wish him any ill will. But this is dragging on now, and I want him gone.
Yeah, I think you're right that that Amrin is trying to force him out of the club, and I know people are sort of getting in a bit of two minds with Amorim because the results are awful. Playing Casemiro and Eriksen in a 2 is suicidal. But he's kind of doing what people have wanted for a long time, which is relentless and ruthless aggression to get the players that he doesn't want out. And I hope it works out for him, because it's like he's got big balls, that man, Yabba.
Just keep in mind, like when you say players that he doesn't want, we're talking about two players here. Player that he wants, contract extension, is a player that fans like, what? Similar to McTominay, like, McTominay's no good. How are we going to win anything with him? But I think McTominay's been a big loss since he's gone. You missed him when they're gone. And it's the attitude, the character. These are the attributes we're looking at with McTominay and Harry Maguire. And then we look at Rashford. We're thinking Rashford scores his wonder goals, forward, who's, takes all the glory and, is quick and fast and gets the fans off their seat. Why would we want to sell him? It's been a detriment to us since he hasn't been playing, apparently, because we've losing all these games. So the difference is character. And this is why I like the manager, because like you said there, BATHTIME, he's actually eliminating anyone who's not on board or showing any kind of weakness in character that's not going to carry this club forward. So we might take a short-term loss with not having that impact player like Rashford or that pace or someone to cause those sort of issues. But long-term, I think it's a great decision, because clearly it's to do with his lack of professionalism, character, and wherever his mindset is now these days as a professional footballer, which is not someone who's going to take us upstream, just downstream.
Should you do some comments?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. B, you've got We Deserve Better like in 3 at the
back. Oh, we deserve better.
All right. Damien saying that the Oh, God, here we go.
You get it now, Leo.
Lord have mercy.
All right.
New Year.
Under 18s are smashing it. Ruben needs to bring in young legs in from the youth like he did at Sporting.
Yeah, but he doesn't have I have no problem with him bringing in the youth, but then who do they, like Ambryn said, who did they look up to in the squad?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're better off leaving them where they are. Don't tarnish them with that shit until next season, man.
You also said that Jose was right about Rashford. I can't remember what Jose wanted to sell Rashford, Martial, and Shaw. I think is that the stuff? Yeah. So Conte doesn't play a 3-5-2 anymore, but he's changed it, which is shocking. I know, but Napoli are not playing 3-5-2 this season.
Yeah, he changed it to accommodate McTominay, innit? Because he subbed him. I mean, imagine McTominay's made the manager change his formation.
Conte as well. He signs a lot of United players, and like we've got Young, Sanchez, Darmian, Lukaku, McTominay, possibly Rashford. He likes them. I don't know how true this is, but this is very, very good if it's true. It's that Rashford doesn't have an EU passport. Brexit means Brexit, Mr. B. And Napoli already have 3 non-EU players. Can't see this happening. So I'm not sure who the non-EU players are, but Gilmour and McTominay would be 2 of them. Is Kvaratskhelia, is Georgia in the EU technically? It must be.
I have absolutely. No, I'm not going to say that. I know, so I'll keep quiet on that subject. To be fair,
Steph is referencing that hilarious moment between Conte and Tuchel. Do you remember when they did a handshake and they went? That was brilliant. I absolutely loved that. Will we get the marked Osman or unmasked version of Jim Carrey? That's from The Mask, Yapper, 1994.
I know.
Colour.
We should never have sold Smalling. He was miles better than Lindy. Did you like Smalling, Yapper?
Yeah, I've told you I've seen him play live, and I was really impressed how he'd win his headers. He was just awesome in the air. And me and my brother joke about this. The way I describe him, he's an instructions player. So in his mind, he's obviously, because he come to the game late, didn't he? He's a good athlete, come to the game late. So to get somewhere, he follows instructions to the team. Get the ball down, bring it, head it, pass it to feet, pass to feet. There's nothing else. It's blinkered with him. So, you know, some players are just more natural. They can change their mind last decision, cut man, or do certain things. No frills. Just do instructions. Get it, pass it, move it, you know, and that's how he plays his football. So, but I like that. And I felt that there was a time when Phil Jones and Smalling were playing at the club, and we got rid of Smalling instead of Phil Jones. I felt we should have got rid of Phil Jones ahead of Smalling. I really rated Smalling. He was decent for us and a bit of a presence, but obviously he's gone now, and we just have to move on.
Yeah, I always liked Smalling because he came late to football. Like, I like those stories like Vardy, Ian Wright, Smalling. Like, it was non-league before he was at Fulham, I think.
Right.
Like, I think it's always good to have players that, you know, like they feel that they're like lucky to be here. You know what I mean? And they're worried, so they're always trying harder. Take Lookman from Atalanta. It's good rapport with Rasmus. It's Everton and Fulham reject, isn't it?
Charlton, former Charlton player. Someone who just came. He was playing Sunday League when Charlton picked up at 16 years old. What a rise he's had. Wow. And now he scored a hat-trick in one of the European finals last season. Now he's playing at Atalanta, scoring goals and a real threat. His name is everywhere. But just shows you, I mean, like you just talked about Smalling, what he can achieve by not coming up through the academies and coming a different route. There's still opportunities for players if you've got the hunger and desire. And Lookman is a perfect example of that. Really proud of him.
Yeah, I love the fact that there's still that pathway from the non-leagues up the pyramid. So important. We'd said better is talking about Amrin Ineos's business sense about the Rashford affair, like pushing Rashford out without a buyer.
I think they just want him gone. I just think they just want him gone. I don't even think that's it. They must have thought about it.
Got to have happened.
But yeah, maybe he was the leak as well. You know what I mean?
We haven't had any leaks.
We've had exactly, but the thing is, him and Garnacho have been out of the team at the same time, so you know you can't really say it's one or the other at the moment. But it does look like it's either one of them two, to be fair.
In reference to not getting "We Deserve Better's" joke, Yabba, you're slower than Maguire. I like that. That's good, Steph.
Probably
United passed the ball too slow. Andrew is saying a manager needs to play the formation, suit his players. Sorry, but that's how it works. And Georgia are not in the EU. That's why Putin invaded South Ossetia in 2018. So,
is that Barry from EastEnders? Angie's profile picture. Is it?
I think it could be.
I don't know. It's just funny because sometimes there's that guy with the specs, the thick lens specs as well. Big up to Solo.
I wonder if he's out in the cold.
I hope so. And we got Hab. Let us know what Hab stands for. Is it trying to try Mainu as a 10 next to Ahmad, which would lead nicely on to the match preview, Mr. B?
Yes, indeed. Look, we've all been dreading this fixture for the last couple of weeks. We knew it was coming. Look, it's finally here. I'm not expecting us to win the game. I didn't expect us to win the last game. My thoughts on the team, that excitement and that buzz that you get, 6 points off top 4 and 9 points off third place. I'm now looking behind me. I don't expect us to win the game, but I want the team to go out there and surprise me. I want them to go out there. I don't know if they can, playing in the Amarin system, but I don't want him to change. We're not going to get relegated, regardless of how bad we are this season. We're not getting relegated. Yes, we might finish 14th. We might even finish 15th, which they will have to deal with next season. But I would be stunned if we get anything more than a draw. I'm not going to say a draw is not feasible, but I just don't think we can go behind first. I just don't think we can afford to concede. It's going to be fire there. The atmosphere at Anfield is going to be electric. these players who buckled at Bournemouth, we're going to be in for a rude awakening when they come out of the tunnel at Anfield. So I hope that he did say in the press conference that he's managed to have 2 consecutive days of training, which is great for us, great for them as a team. But I'm not sure that 2 days of extra training is going to halt the slot machine. So look, we'll see what happens. Those are my early thoughts on the game. I doubt they're going to change before the actual game starts. But I did see a post that you did earlier on, which was a little bit more respectable than I hoped you would have made it. But you're on our channel now, so talk to me.
Yeah, I did. I have reflections sometimes. I make videos, as you know, Mr. B, and talk about up-and-coming games and how Man United are doing. I just want to give credit to Liverpool Football Club. They've been outstanding this year.
Can we mute you?
1 defeat so far, 4 draws, and just when you think they're going to start slowing up, they just pick it up. And games, they beat West Ham the other day 5-0. They just keep getting better and better. But I don't think they're out like in recent years. We've had some really outstanding teams. I just think they're consistent at the moment and doing their thing. And I just think the rest of the league aren't really up to scratch at the moment, and they've just been running along with it. So I'm trying to sort of analyze the game. Are they really that scary? Yeah, they're consistent. They're doing really well. But comparing them to other years when it was Liverpool under Klopp with City getting 90 odd points, a season. Yeah. I don't know if they're there yet, or is it just the league's just dropped off a little bit? Chelsea are just coming back. Arsenal, doing their usual thing where they're bottling it, when you thought they would be the team to shine this year. So very daunting task to go to Anfield and expect to get anything, like Mr. B was saying. But it's a derby. But it's a new year, fresh start. Changes are being made. Maybe the players are realizing, the transfer window's just open, and my agents just informed me that I'm not, I need to buck up my ideas, or managers, said something to me. We need something to kickstart our season. And wouldn't it be a fantastic thing to come away without defeat at Anfield? You have to consider as well, it's a long season for Anfield, for Liverpool. They've got a lot to play for. And I've seen some games where they've drawn this season, and I'm thinking a draw would be great for us because they don't have to win. They're 6 points ahead of Arsenal with a game in hand, so it's not like they have to go, tooth and nail and really go for it and really take us to put the sword to us. they can just play in second, third gear and hope they can turn it up if things go wrong. So I think it's quite possible we could get a draw, and I think it's what is possible, and what is very important is that in this game, especially, more so than any other, the fans that have a lot of influence, they need to, demand more from the players. And we just want to see the players turn up and have that base, what the manager was saying the other day, that base to help us compete. And that means put it on Liverpool, being competitive with them, running, being brave, all these kind of attributes. If we can do that, then we got a chance. If we don't do that, we could collapse like we have against Liverpool in recent years, where it's been like 5-0, 7-0, all these stupid scorelines, which is just utterly embarrassing and just expose the issues that we have regarding character with the players.
I like some of the things that Yabba has said. I think that the Liverpool team that won the title were nowhere near their best team. They had no competition that season, even before COVID came in. They, City they were off their doping cycle or something. So there was nothing there, and I think it's very similar. No team has won a proper title race against Manchester City, Arsenal or Liverpool. And I think that there's quite a lot of truth in what Yabba's saying. Is we should be scared about this game because of how crap we are, not because of how great Liverpool are. And Slot, he he might not be thinking, right, this is the time to kill United. He might be thinking, like, let's get a point out of this and keep ticking over, because it's our title to lose now. Like, and we don't, like this is a sort of a dangerous game for Liverpool, in the same way that when we were good, Danny bloody Murphy, like, he just seemed to turn up every year and score a free kick, or reset. It was bloody annoying. And that's kind of what United have got to be. Like, it's a one-off game. I just want to see them play with pride in this match. Like, I want them to go out representing us and the football club and show that we've got something to us, instead of going out like a collection of teenage dirtbags and just rolling about crying. So I'm gonna be so angry if Bruno is crying, if Rasmus is crying, if Martinez plays and he just like runs around like a psychotic little dwarf. I'm going to be livid as well. Got to go out and play as Premier League players representing Manchester United, and we'll see where we go from there.
I would like to think that could happen. I don't trust the players.
Which ones?
Don't trust the players. United players, not the Liverpool
all of
players.
them.
Not all of them, but you need a collective. And if you've got people who are maybe have doubts about themselves, I'm not going to say about their fellow teammates, about themselves.
Let's name names.
You're playing in a team and you know Martinez is getting smashed up every week. You don't want to see Martinez starting the game. You know that stats-wise is showing that when you play with two fullbacks at wing back, we don't win, we don't score any goals. When the manager puts that team out, you're probably thinking, oh shit, we're in trouble. You then look at the midfield. In training, you know you're running past Casemiro. Collier must have fun playing against Casemiro in midfield. Zoop, zoop. And he's gone. Casemiro starts sliding halfway down the training ground trying to catch him. You know what I mean? I just feel that the players maybe know who the better players are, and I wonder if he's picking the best players. Does that make sense?
Not really. I don't know if you're like...
Okay, so if all right, so me personally as a player, I wouldn't want Martinez starting the next game. I wouldn't want one of the fullbacks starting the next game. I wouldn't want one of the fullbacks starting the next game. So I'm hoping my manager has seen what we saw during the game. And if they start them, you're already thinking, shit, we're on the back foot already. Ahmad's played better as a wing back.
Yeah.
His formation is geared to having two attacking wingers, two wingers. At the moment, we're restricting how he can play. You know, as a defender, I want to put it to you, Yaba. As a wide man, when I pick up the ball, I want to run past the player who's in front of me. As a defender, I don't see you saying you want to run past. You want to keep hold of the football, which means it's either pass back or passed inside. Right or wrong?
Yeah. As a wide, one of the wide.
Yeah, as one of the wide. If you're a wide player,
yeah,
how you play and how your mindset is.
Yeah.
Would you be looking to run past the player in front of you, or would you be looking to keep hold of the football?
If I'm a wide player, I'd want to. It depends. Yeah, as a defender, kind of thing. I'm not saying I'm that minded, but I want to try and link up play and get the team playing, moving up as a team. But like you say, we've seen with Ahmad at that wide position, sometimes he can get us out of trouble by little one, two, forward.
So hang on a second. Yeah, but I think am I right in thinking this is what you're saying, Mr. B? That when you play a defensive player or a fullback in the wing-back position, their priorities are keeping the ball, playing safe, staying in shape. But when you play a winger or a traditional wide player, they're going to be getting ahead of the ball and stretching the pitch vertically and so on.
Yeah, and then when they pick up the ball, they're looking to go past their player.
They can.
I think right, and that's because it's in their armory. It's not something that they have to think
It's
about.
in their blood.
You see, right, and that's what I'm saying. He needs, until Amorim gets those two wide men who have the defensive responsibilities but aren't defensive-minded players. That's when I think this formation will blow. And I don't think we have the
come back to that? I want to do the comments because it's Saturday night, and if you're writing comments on Saturday
is it
night,
Saturday?
Friday.
Mm.
But anyway, Johnny, hello, Johnny. We'll get on to our teams in a minute, but he's going Bruno in the pivot with Ugarte, Mainu at 10. Okay. Some of them have popped in their 11s, which I've starred. We'll put them up. We'll put them up later. But Ozan Kabak, do you know what position he played, Yabba?
Who?
Ozan Kabak.
Not from Man United.
Is he a footballer?
Yeah.
Centre back?
Yes, he played centre back. He's saying that heavy snow on Sunday morning from Merseyside, the game could be postponed. I've seen this a few times. I think it's more wishful thinking, but
there's
going to be an inspection at 9, and it's nothing to do with the pitch. It's about the safety of the travelling fans, like if they can safely get from Manchester and surrounding areas to Liverpool. Look, it's one of my favourites. It's Niall Kane, the mother of Abermel.
Long time. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope you're doing well.
I hope you're well. I haven't seen this, but did anyone see Ahmad's New Year's post? It's an AI image of him with his arm around Ronaldo. Like, I think he's actually got it wrong, and it's Garnacho. I think I've seen a picture of Garnacho with the Puskás Award next to Ronaldo with the Puskás Award. Andrew, unsurprisingly, has a controversial opinion. He thinks that Arsenal this year are better than Liverpool. Bart has been in on his big supercomputer and said that Liverpool have scored 92 goals in the league, more than any Premier League side, completely missing the point of Yabba's comment, which is that the standard of the top teams has been lower this season than in other seasons, and that's why Liverpool are doing well. Playing for United badge, the real badge, not the devil. Okay. Right. Mainu Ahmad Ugarte. He's the only ones that Johnny trusts, and possibly Yoro. Apparently, we played 2 fullbacks against City in one. We got Tyrone, who showed up late. Right, depends on what kind of fullback it is. And I think that this is what you were talking about, is that Nori is not someone who loves defending, in my opinion. He likes getting forward and so on. It's like kind of like a different mindset, isn't it, Mr. B? Yeah. We've got 16 likes, which is brilliant. And Andrew's arguing with the Williams brothers are arguing with each other. Mr. B, one thing I wanted to say just before we get on to our teams is that I don't mind necessarily having 2 defensive wide players, but my big problem is that 2 in midfield, because who supports the attacks? That, like, I really struggle with just the basic concept of having 2 men in the centre of the midfield, because you can't get one ahead of the ball. And you're saying that if you get the wingers ahead of the ball, like, or the wing back, ahead of the ball, that issue goes. But I think that you've got to be so technically secure as the wing back when you've got 2 in the centre of midfield, and you've got to march up the pitch quite slowly, because no one can break from that 2 and get ahead of the ball.
I understand what you're saying, but do you think that the 4, because it really, if you look at it, it could go into a box 4, right? With the 2 8s and the 2 10s. Do you think it could be a thing where a rotation or maybe if they play closer. Because at the moment, in my mind, as I'm looking at it, it looks wide. The gaps look wide between the 2-8s or the two, whatever they're playing behind the 2-10s. Maybe if that gap is closer, then it's more of a swapping position thing. I think he likes to play. So when they played, so how Sporting played, was it the wide men who were causing this?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the wide men who were causing all the trouble.
Yeah, so essentially, like when you play the box midfield, the point of the box midfield is that you have two men in between the lines that are always causing problems. So what they're doing is they're kind of pinning the other team centrally. And if those four players in the box are good at keeping the ball, retaining the ball, circulating it, popping it off at different angles, you're going to suck everyone into the centre, and then you can release one of your wide players. So your wide players are kind of outlets. And with the players that we have in that box, they're not athletic enough to cover the distances, and they're not technically good enough to be able to play a much slower possession-based game. And
you don't think we've got the players to play that?
No. I don't think so, because when I watch us play, the majority of our possession is centre backs knocking it back to Onana, then receiving it, then passing it out to the wide centre back,
going all the way back around again.
Yeah, we're not progressing through the centre of the midfield, are we? And that's the point of the box, is that you're able to play in the middle and keep the ball, and maybe you can add some fun third man combinations in or something, but the idea is that there's always a pass and there's always an outlet,
and that's why I think that part of it is rigid. That's why I was asking you about what Amorim did at Sporting in regards to were his wide men the killers in the team, were they the danger men?
They were the ones that sprung,
right.
So when you have a box, you spring it basically. Like you pull everyone over to one point and then you mug them on the other side.
Right, see, and we don't have the players to do the mugging at the moment.
I don't even think it's about doing the mugging. I think it's that we don't have the players to retain the ball, because the one time that we played Eriksen, do you remember we consistently did a bit of pissing about in the midfield and then releasing Delo, and then Delo would pull it back to Eriksen on the edge of the box?
Yeah, but
that's the plan, I think. And we were only able to do it because Eriksen can receive the ball at different angles, look after
but Eriksen can't play Premier. Yeah, but Eriksen,
I'm not saying he can, but the reason he can't is because he's not athletic enough. And that's the problem, is that the entire situation that we have in the club is we signed a manager who is brilliant at the 3-4-2-1 or whatever it is, but the players aren't. So it's a silly situation to be in when we don't have money and we're trying to build a new stadium. But it's not, the players we have are not going to work in this system, because Mainu he's technical and he's fine, but he's not powerful enough to play in a 2. He's got to be in a 3. Ugarte, exactly the same. Like Eriksen, Casemiro. We needed a sort of an Onana or even a McTominay, just simply to cover distances and to be able to keep running. We don't have the athletic component in that midfield, and that's essentially what the issue is that we can get on to having better quality out wide, but I don't think it's about the runs they're making or getting past their man. I think it's that we can't progress centrally, and until we start trying to play through the block rather than around it or over it, we're gonna be in problems, because the team's set up to get the ball and pinball it about and then release someone out wide. That has to be the game model. So I don't know if that's helpful at all.
When Sporting, they had is it a Danish guy playing for them? I didn't really know him. I wasn't familiar with him.
Or something.
Hodgland.
Yeah, he was big, strong, getting about the pitch and pinching the ball and getting back forward. And I saw a thing the other day where I think we everyone's talking about, it's 2-man midfielders make us weak. It's not necessarily that, because you've got 2 midfielders ahead of them. And when we haven't got the ball, these midfielders will try to get in and around the ball and sort of camp it, restrict the opposition to play through us, through the middle, for example. I get what you're saying, Bath Time. It does make a lot of sense. I'm still like, I still support the system, the formation that we play, the 2-man midfield, so-called 2-man midfield. I just, like you say, I just think about the personnel. If we can get someone in there and get the right combination of players in there to sort of do, we might see a vast difference. Because I don't think we're that far off being a good team. If it's a couple of players coming in, or people given time to sort of cement their place in the side, or we get someone like Collier coming into the side to sort of give us that. But I don't think we're far off it, and I think we should stick with it and back the manager with this 3-4.
I was trying to find it.
You can just say thank you. You don't give me the thumbs up. Sorry, Yabba. I was enjoying what you were saying about Collier.
I'm just interested to see. Did you guys? Can I just ask them? Do you guys pick the sides based on our opposition? Do you pick the side to say where after shuffling the pack so many times, finally this is what I think is the best team is?
Yeah, mine was more shuffling. I mean, look, I said about the 2 wing backs, and I've got 2 wing.
Right, Mr. B. Before we do this, can we do the comments? Because I don't want them feeling
to bypass. Yeah. Sorry.
Johnny is saying the plan is to buy Edison to pair with Ugarte. Like Edison, I don't know much about him, but this is all about midfield. Tyrone is saying he'd use 3 in the midfield. 4-3-3 is the best formation in the game. I agree, Tyrone. These dinosaurs here are not like us cool young guys. They all like 4-4-2. I couldn't think of a worse formation to play in.
Use your brain, man.
Yeah, I just don't know when you would run and when you would sit. It must be a nightmare. The Liverpool midfield 3. But I think when you look at McAllister, Slobosai and Gravenberch, I think that was it Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Thiago? Was that the 3 that were? That's a much better midfield.
Yeah, I think so too. Took them all the way to the Champions League and won a title. It was Gigi, Henderson, and someone else. Wasn't Thiago? Milner.
Oh, those are all big, strong runners. Like that's what you need. Amrin did say, which I found peculiar, that he only had 4 full training sessions with the team in 6 weeks. Right, we deserve better. Slap yourself, because you shouldn't find that peculiar. We did a massive show on tactical periodization. Massive. It was one of the ones that won us an award at the Ballon d'Or. You don't know about this, Yabba. I've awarded us Ballon d'Ors for we're an award-winning channel now. 3 in midfield, dictator, ball winner, and the playmaker. Bloody hell. 2 in midfield against Liverpool is sacrilege. We have to play 3 in central midfield because we ain't got the athletes. If Amrin changes his system now, the players will do what they always do and get him sacked. I kind of agree, actually. If Amrin changes his system, sack him. Yes, we'll get to that. Mr. B, selection of players I like. Right. So before you guys put in your teams, we always like to say which of the 3 teams up is the one that you agree with the most. Because Mr. B's already started disagreeing with his own selection.
No. It was because what I said earlier on, but we don't have the players to play how I want. So this is the best team for the game, in my opinion.
All right. I wanted to put Tom Heaton in, but we've all got Onana.
Look, you can't put Heaton in. As much as we don't think Onana's the one, you can't put Heaton in.
Right, and we've all got Maguire and De Ligt, Mr. B.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Maguire. As I said, Maguire is my third choice centre back, and we play with a 3. So yeah, he plays. It's just where we've got them.
Have you got Maguire going up against Salah?
Yeah, but Delo kind of more covering. Yeah, I have. I know they played Euro out there on the left, but I'm not playing Euro up against Salah. So yeah, I've got Maguire going up against Salah.
Martinez Yaba against Salah.
Yeah, I do. I think just left-footed centre back. I know he's been poor, but we've seen Euros not quite ready to get starts, and I just think Euro won't start this game. What do I know? I think Martinez, as poor as he's been, you could just start him again and just see how it goes, and give him some retribution, because I imagine the reason I picked him was I think he's a big game player. He'd be up for it. He'd be really disappointed with his form, and he'd be wanting to show the fans, get the fans on side again. No better way to do it is by taking out Salah.
Well, I think the last time he played at Anfield was 7-0, wasn't it?
Quite possibly, yeah.
God.
Why have you gone for Euro over Martinez then, Mr. B?
Martinez has been shit. And it's not Euro over Martinez, it's Maguire over Martinez. I thought I'd put it in there. I think Euro should be starting at right centre back. To be fair, Bath time, if I could have got Mazraoui in Maguire's position, then I would have played Mazraoui in Maguire's position.
Well, why don't you just do what I've done and put Mazraoui, Maguire, and De Ligt?
No, because I'm not really feeling the Ahmad. I'm more thinking about trying to hold them for the first bit and then hitting them with something in the second half. I want to be in the game.
Yeah, well, that's why I haven't picked Garnacho, to be honest.
Oh God, yeah, but you picked Garnacho anyway. Look, we'll get onto the Garnacho. The midfield, obviously, Ugarte starts for everybody.
Well, the big one is Dalot from Bath time.
I get it though. I get it. Me and Bath time. What day were we talking about?
It was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. I feel he would do a good job in there. He's athletic, is what we need in midfield. He runs for days. What we need in midfield. He's combative. What we need in midfield. I wouldn't be upset if that's what he tried. Don't get me wrong, after 5 minutes and them dicking us, maybe you change your mind a bit, but maybe not for tomorrow's game. But moving forward, I think that's something that could be done.
Yeah, I mean, so the reason that I've gone Dalot and Ugarte is simply about winning headers, duels, athleticism, because I think Gravenberch and McAllister and Slobosai will beat the living crap out of any other midfield that we can put out there in a two. And I've put our best athlete in midfield to try and compete with them. Like it's literally that. Like Dalot, last season he played inverted a lot, so he's okay receiving the ball from a centre back and so on. I just put who I feel is our best athlete in the middle of the pitch to deal with the athleticism. Like, I mean, I don't know if Gakpo is going to play there, but man, Gravenberch is going to be a serious issue without a physical presence. And you've both gone for Mainu and Fernandez, and yeah, they're lovely ball players and stuff like that, and they'll give you a bit of spark. But I just want a meat and potatoes player in the middle of the pitch that competes in all his duels and will just give the ball nice and simple.
Do you think that we've got a player? I understand you've got Dalot obviously playing there. You've got him in there because we don't have any other player in the team. I've gone for Mainu just because I'm not saying we don't have anybody else, but I don't think we've got anybody else who can play alongside Ugarte. We don't, to be fair. I love Grace. I tell you. I love Grace, man. Yeah, I don't think we've got anybody else to play in centre midfield Bath time.
Well, but I mean, sure. I mean, I suppose the thing is that I just think that we need someone like Delo is technically okay for playing in the midfield. You're not going to get a lot out of him. You're looking at the same kind of stuff that you're going to get out of Agate, like keep the ball ticking over and stuff. But he's going to compete. And like earlier on, you were talking about like having Ahmad like as a wing back. You haven't got him as a wing back.
Yeah, I know. Just because I tried to get balance in the team, it wasn't. If Mason Mount was fit, then Mason Mount will be where Ahmad is.
Yeah,
and Ahmad would be where Mazraoui is, and Mazraoui would be where Maguire was. So it's just we don't have the players.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
just say there's nothing wrong with what Bathtime's saying. I think putting a guy like that in midfield can work. I was just funny you should say it because I was watching Juve versus Man United at Old Trafford from '97 the other day. The full 90 minutes I watched, and Zidane, Deschamps, and Davids I think was in midfield. And our back four was Schmeichel in goal, Owen left back, Gary Neville right back, and then you had Henningberg and Pallister, and he put Ronnie Johnson in midfield for that game specifically, and he sat on Zidane and kept him quiet.
He's a big bastard, Zidane. People forget that. He's 6'2" and elbows everywhere. Ronnie
Johnson was there with him, just done a job, just sticking with him. And I think Dalot, I understand. You've explained it really well why you put Dalot in there. Don't think it's going to happen, to be honest.
No, this is my team.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but I can understand why you would do that based on the opposition and what we're up against. But I do think I'm with Mr. B. I think you go with two traditional midfielders who just sit there and just deny them space to play through us. When Liverpool did, you've seen Gravenberch receive the ball. He's already scanned. He can sort of let the ball drop a shoulder, let the ball roll beyond. He can drive forward, pop it off. Mainly needs to be looking at this guy and saying, wow, this is a dynamic midfield. If I had legs, I'd want to be playing like this. It's a really good opportunity to sort of compare the two players. And Gravenberch has been on fire this season and part of last season as well. And I do agree that he is the guy that really can sort of make... We saw the other day when we had issues with Newcastle playing 1-2s around us. That's the issue. Against Liverpool, I think it'd be a lot worse for us with the guys they've got in there. So it's really interesting to see how we set up. But I just think the main thing is deny them the space to play and let it fizzle out to a 0-0 or something like that.
Is that why we've all got Rasmus up front?
Yeah.
Right, I've gone for Anthony. Do you know why?
Where is he? Oh, on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
He keep width in it.
He'll keep width, and I think that like he will double up with Mazraoui to help with Salah. Like, just his aggression and his running is why I've got him in. I don't expect any real quality from him, but we have to look at Salah, and you've got Dalot and Maguire, and Dalot and Martinez. Dalot I'm fine with, but Maguire and Martinez and wide areas are terrible. I've got Anthony and Mazraoui because I think that they can like keep up with him. He's too strong and powerful for Anthony. But if Anthony can just delay him a little bit, I think Mazraoui might be able to do okay against Salah. But that like I put Anthony in because I think defensively he's the best of the the kind of left-sided players, and I'm hoping that having a left foot there might make a difference. It's a bit in vain, maybe. Is it crazy?
Listen, we're all trying to put out the best team that helps. And if he plays Anthony on the left, I'm not going to sit here and say to you, oh, he's done it wrong. I would understand why. It's part of his formation. I mean, we deserve better. Has got it there. I'm just not sure the effort he'll have. I'm just not sure he'll got it.
All right, that's good. That's a good point. Do you think we're going to win this game on technique or we're going to win it on effort?
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I get that one.
Start
it's
Anthony.
Gonna have to be effort. It's gonna have to be effort. Oh God! And then obviously our top three we've all gone, oh, well, I tell a lie. I didn't go, mate. We've got Bruno. 2 of us have gone Bruno. Garnacho, Yabba.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget he's still available for selection, guys. And this is someone I feel who's a bit of a terror, a big game player as well. I think he could exploit Liverpool with the pace, because you guys are lacking pace there, really, apart from Haaland.
Yeah.
He's going to get eaten up, I think, by Van Dijk or whoever his partner is. They would eat him up. He's fast. I think I'm running from different angles. Garnacho, if you put him in the side, he's likely to force them back and give them something to consider. I would consider it's the right time now, after a little punishment, to play the guy who does score goals and put him in a position where we started him. As soon as the manager came in the side, he started him in that position. And I think going forward, that's got to be, after his little telling off and punishment, I think that's a great game to bring him back to. Say, go out and do your thing, bro. Show the Man United fans who you are and what you're really about, and put a shift in. I think these guys know that subs are always going to get made, so you can work your BOLLOCKs off, and knowing that you can get dragged off at some point.
They don't have any.
There you go. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, but I think it's a good opportunity for Garnacho to come back in this game and remind us why we're not picking him anymore. Remind us why he should be picked. Once he got that down.
I've gone for players that I think are most likely to win us a penalty. Genuinely, Mainu, Fernandes. I think that they're the most likely. We're going to win this. If we win this game, or we scored in this game, it's going to be off a moment. And I like the fact that we've all picked moment players in the number 10. Like Ahmad is a moment player, Mainu moment player, Garnacho moment player. It's just which one. Like I put in the ones that I think will work the hardest there. And Ahmad I've put as like a wing back, but Garnacho I think he'll get eaten up as much as Højlund will in wide areas.
It'll be more. He's senseless, man. So. Oh God! Okay,
so I've gone for second ball players as well. Mainu and Fernandes, I think they're more likely to compete for the second ball than Ahmad and Garnacho.
Actually, that's a good point, because we're not going to win the first one.
Yeah, with Van Dijk. Van Dijk against Højlund is going to be hilarious. Like if you're not a United fan, he's going to eat him alive.
Oh God. So we've spoken for an hour and 20 minutes, and nothing we've said has changed our mind on what we feel is going to happen in the game.
All right. Can we do some comments for possible predictions? Yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a lot. Okay, starting off with the teams. You're right there, Yabba.
I'm just plugging in.
Okay. Andrew's going with you, Mr. B. Johnny is going with you, Mr. B. I hope Steph is with me. Johnny is talking about, do you think that Goodwill will get any minutes? The centre-back. I can't see it happening.
Not in this game, no.
No. Grace obviously likes the middle team because it's got Delo front and centre. Sarah, hopefully she's not going to try and role play tonight, but she's gone for Anana, Mazraoui, Demicht, Maguire, Ahmad, Dalot, Ugarte, Collier, Mainu, Fernandes, Xerxes. Wow.
That'd be interesting. Him against Van Dijk. Apparently they don't like each other, or they don't talk to each other.
Okay. Like on the international duty?
Yeah, on international duty.
Interesting. Andrew's gone 4-5-1, so we're going to ignore that. He won't start Collier. He hasn't had any game time, I agree. He's played 60 minutes this season, I think, against Barnsley. Did any of you see the video, New Year's Eve, Luke Shaw? I sent it to you, Mr. B. Did you watch it? You muted yourself.
Yeah, I saw it. What
do you reckon?
You know what? He was on there for like 1 sec. I know he's an arse. I mean, maybe I'm just old. Yeah, I just think he's an idiot. Bath time. I just think he's an idiot. You know, I'm old, so I don't see what the fuss was about. I was expecting it to be like worse when it came on, and then who's Molly May?
Tyson Fury.
Apparently,
not
she's
Tyson Fury.
Tommy Fury.
Yeah,
ex-wife. Yeah. She won Love Island. No, she didn't.
Apparently, she's in the video as well.
Yeah, she's at the start.
Oh, I see. I don't know who. I was looking out for Luke.
She's a relatively well-known social influencer. Like, they're all like, it's obviously some kind of showbiz wedding or something. They're all vaguely famous for reality TV, and then like Shaw pops up, guys. Your mother's on benefits.
Yeah, then somebody
while he's fucking eating.
Yeah. What did he want him to be there in his Man United tracksuit?
No, I just want him to know that we're in 14th. He hasn't played for us for essentially a year. That it's just he's got to have a little bit of sense because you're just inviting problems on yourself.
He hasn't got any sense.
That's the thing. There's nothing bad-willed about it. It's like it's a footballer. He's just trying to have a bit of fun. But now's not the time, and he should know better. That's how I see it. I don't think that there's a moral outrage or like it's illegal or anything like that. He's just being a bimbo, and he should know better.
Mm.
Anyway, Delo's not a natural midfielder. None of them are natural midfielders. Right, Yabba. What's more likely, Salah with a penalty or Bruno with a red card?
Stephanie's a funny girl. Always makes me laugh. Yeah. Probably Mo Salah with a penalty, and Mo Salah's scoring record against United is up there. And there's, he's at the stage now where I heard that he might be leaving. He might be leaving the end of this contract. But he's at the stage you have to consider this guy. As much as I don't think he's spectacular, he's very effective. And when especially against Man United, you have to give the guy his dues. He's been a great performer in the Premier League. And it's very hard to sort of disrespect him in any way. Good, solid, fast, like
strong,
direct. Yeah, very tough player to deal with, as we know. So probably more likely he's going to score a penalty.
I agree. I think he's the most ordinary world-class player I've ever seen. But he's world-class.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Like he's a wonderful player, but he just. Maybe it's because he's from Liverpool, but he doesn't excite the blood. It's like he's like someone on a computer game that has just found a glitch to score every time. But he's a bit like De Bruyne. I think that physicality is incredibly underrated. He is so strong. It's unbelievable who he bounces off him. Anyway, Stephanie has gone for Ahmad as centre forward. I'm not against that in principle. Mazraoui right wing back, Leacher left centre back. Yuck. Otherwise, same team as Bath time. Don't you dare put Martinez in my team, Steph. We won't win on set pieces. I know what you mean. Grace has gone for Onana, Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Anthony Ugarte, Delo as captain in the midfield, Ahmad, Mino, Bruno, Højlund. So quite similar to my team. But
Captain Delo.
I don't see why not. I like Delo as well. He's gone 3-0 for Liverpool with the Bruno red card. Bilal says Salah is going to get a red card. Low block, 3-0 Liverpool. Will is saying Mr. B. He's got the vote. Here's Mystic Meg here. United will win 1-0. Delo open goal off Michael Oliver's head. Ala Greenhoff Macari 77 Cup final winner. Does this make sense to you, Yabba?
Yep.
Of course it would.
I think we beat Arsenal in 77 in the cup final.
Cheers. Onana, Yoro, De Ligt, Maz, Ahmad, Minu, Ugarte, Anthony, Bruno, Garnacho, Rasmus. Look at this. Look at this from Bartholomew. Salah is better than Giggs. I mean,
Pete Crouch said that the other day.
They played on different sides, right? So where's the conversation?
Well, I mean, Salah has won Premier League. What are you talking about? Hoyland's wrestling skills are going to be tested. He's probably going to get body slammed. That's a good point, actually. We've never considered the WWF as a potential transfer destination for Hoyland. All right. Is it score predictions?
Yes, it is. Let me just remove this.
Yeah, sorry, I do apologise. It was Liverpool we beat. What am I talking about? Arsenal beat us around that time as well. Yeah, Liverpool beat us. We beat Liverpool in the cup final. Can I just give my score prediction? Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go 0-0.
Yes. Not even a 1-0. That's how bad times are.
Yeah, let's just drizzle out. It's the start of the new year. They're going to take it easy on us. And I think we can hold out for a 0-0. We don't score. We just got to stop them from scoring.
Okay. I'm with Yaba. With the 0 to us. I don't see anything other than a loss. It's not going to be 7. Sevens are freak results. But we've had a couple of 4s. So I can see maybe a 4-0. I know Yaba, you were talking about, was it you, Bathtime, a little bit earlier about them taking it easy in regards to them not having to try because, they just didn't want to have to lose the game. And no, they're going to want to kill us. The rivalry is inbuilt as soon as you join either club, the hatred. So, no, I think Salah's going to want to go out there and score whatever records he can. I think Gravenberch is going to be somebody that we're not going to be able to hold, especially when he takes it on the half turn. I can see a demolition job, to be fair. And 4-0, what it does to the confidence going into the Arsenal game, I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, I'm going to go. I'll go. I'm not going to go 4 beaten. I'll go 3. I'll go 3-0. 3-0 Liverpool.
I'm going to go for 1-1. With us scoring early. Why? I don't know. Look, we're more than likely to lose this. We're 14th in the table. The table doesn't really lie. You can be 2 places above or below where you should be, but we deserve to be in 14th. We don't score goals. We concede to set pieces all the time. Van Dijk is an absolute menace at set pieces. Our goalkeeper spills everything. But having said that, I've watched a lot of football. I've played a lot of football, and it never goes the way that you think it's going to go. I think we might get an early goal because the only goals we scored under Amorim appear to come really early. Yeah. We might catch them sleeping a little bit. I mean, like last year, Liverpool were top of the table and we were crap and we beat them 4-3. And we were never in that game until Anthony scored a right-footed shot and then it all went from there. Football's a funny thing. And I'm hoping that is a good enough reason for me to say 1-1. Well, I mean, you're muted, Mr. B, which is good. So you agree with me?
No, I'm not going to agree with you, Bathtime. I can't. I've seen us now, watched us long enough, so no, I can't. I would like to believe that, there's a chart. I just don't see. This isn't the game that we click back into.
What has to happen, Mr. B? I'll tell you what has to happen. If it goes the way that everyone thinks it's going to go, and let's not make no bones about it. We could have been 3 or 4-0 down against Newcastle within 10 minutes. Like Southampton earlier in the season, we could have been 3-0 down. Like remember, Renana had to save a penalty, and then we went up the other end and scored. Like we could be really under it after after half an hour. What can't happen is we cannot do a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, we can't.
He's got to shut up shop. Like if that happens, that I can't deal with that again. Like Ten Hag, I know the FA Cup was great and stuff, but that 7-0 is always what I will remember from his reign, because that is a historic defeat. Like that will be remembered far beyond like the FA Cup. Like the game where Ahmad scored right at the end is something that will live long in the memory, but nowhere near as long as that 7-0. And this is where we are at the moment. We have got to not come away with like an absolute thrashing. We've got to come away with a vaguely respectable scoreline. And I really, really want to just see us hanging in for as long as possible. Like keeping the game competitive. Like, 1-0, 2-0, those are dangerous scorelines. And I don't know, Mr. B. I mean, if I was a neutral, which I'm not, I would say 3-1 Liverpool. I think that regardless of the score, Liverpool, especially Salah, will be trying to knock up goals. And we know that he doesn't work hard enough and things, and players switch off and stuff like that. And United players must be hurting. Like, they must be hurting. They must be desperate for goals. And I can see a penalty or a long shot from Bruno or something like that happening. So I think United could score and will score. But Liverpool, they're top of the table for a reason. Like Yabba might have said, and I agree with him, that it's because other teams aren't as good as they've been in previous years. But Liverpool, even in previous years, would be in third, I think, regardless. So it's an uphill battle, and I just don't trust the players. But I'm going to say 1-1. So fuck you and fuck Liverpool too. I'm sorry, I don't mean that, Mr. B.
Oh, no, listen, I told you, man, my shoulders are broad, bro. We'll see. I want your score. I want you and Never score. I want 0-0 or I want 1-1. I just don't see it. That's all.
I also want someone to just give us a like so that we can have 20, because we all hate prime numbers here. We don't like 19. Do you want to see some score predictions, Yabba?
I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see a win. If that's the one what I'm interested in, because I know everyone's going to put we're going to lose. Is there anyone out there who's actually predicted we might?
We'll have to like shine the Vincent light into the sky like Batman for that.
Yeah.
5-1 to Liverpool. We're shite, but we do score a goal. Will, not as positive. 5-0 loss. 2-0, a Salah double. 1-0 United or match postponed. 5-0 United title charge. Delo right at the heart of it. I don't know what we deserve better is going on. I think he's talking about league titles. 19-20. How's your finger, Yabba?
Yeah, I got an appointment on the 6th on Monday, and I should be like 2 weeks away from it being properly prepared. But I take it off sometimes to fix it, and you're not allowed to let it drop. But it dropped the other day, and it's like got no control of it. So it's still not healed.
Oh.
Double figures defeat.
23 points off Liverpool. Be positive, Mr. B. Stop Liverpool if we can. If Liverpool score early, we could be in trouble. Steph's got some poetry for us. Always fear the underdogs, especially the silent, non-barking, non-biting ones. Got to end the goal drought. We've made it to 23 likes. Thank you so much. 3-1. I suppose that's to Liverpool with them being at home from Damien. Match postponed. Sounds like a win. And what is an absolute win is 24 likes.
Take that.
You take that?
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that.
Well, we've
guys.
done 94 minutes, Mr. B. That's more than I think United are going to do.
Look, we just look. We can only try and be positive in it. I'm expecting the reaction show to be. I don't expect any anger. You know, some of the reaction shows we've been a bit pissed. We've realised how bad we are, and whatever we take, we're gonna have to take on. We're gonna have to take on Sunday. I hope it's not a battering. I'm expecting us to lose. I just don't want it to be a battering. 2-1, 3-1, 3-2 be nice. You know, when they start hitting fours, you know, I'm really not interested. But I would like us to score. I would like us to score. You know, I'll take a 4-2. I would love. Not saying I would love a 4-2, but score goals in open play for us. You know what I mean? Open them up with something.
I don't care if it's open play or not. Score a goal.
Yeah, get some goals, man. Get some goals. But look, yes, this is what we want. Thank you very much. That was I was waiting out for. I was gonna say even number, but 25 is nice and respectable. So look, it is what it is, isn't it? We'll see what happens on Sunday.
It's like a notch time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like a notch. It's like a notch from me.
Like a notch from me.
It's a lack a notch from me.